I really enjoyed doing photo shoots for my brand,
Right.
and I was enjoying that. And then I bought a Sony, and I was just like playing around with this, like just trying to learn and whatnot. And then I don't know what happened. I went on this trip with her. I took this one photo that's like super profound for me that like pretty much just changed my life. But I took this one photo of my ex-girlfriend. She's like running through like the Milford Sounds in this open field. It was like a real freeing, beautiful photo. And then this girl, Lena Alice, shout out, amazing photographer from Germany, Cologne. Um, that comes from a really cool crew of people. Um, and they're like this little like Leica crew, you know, they're all, they I don't know, she just liked the photo and then reached out. And then I talked to her and I was going through this weird stage in my life because I was falling out of love with the fashion brand. And I randomly put $10,000 in the stock market and then suddenly hit $100,000 in like 4 months.
No way.
So I was like, now I fell out of that. I've got this camera. I'm like exploring this. I've suddenly now like feeling like I have no stress or worries in life.
Gonna buy a phase 1.
Yeah, man, I bought a Jeep Wrangler and that was pretty cool for the time. And I kept the rest in the stocks. But to get back to the point, this girl reached out. Now I feel like it was like an angel, man. Like somehow God sent me this girl, but we started talking. I was going through my breakup. She was going through a breakup. And we just started talking. She was teaching me about photography. And I was like in love with her style. And learning so much more about that world and like the levels it can be and what's like her and what is all this Cologne, what's Cologne, like why
Well, it's spray, isn't it? That's smelly spray.
yeah, exactly. So when like sprayed that on and that was it. It was all she wrote. And then so then
She was from Cologne.
yeah,
Okay.
but she was living in Australia
Right.
at the time. And then we just started FaceTiming, man, like every night. We were drinking wine, just chatting. It was just like a cool friendship. And then
You were still with your girlfriend at this time?
no, we'd broken up.
Right.
And then it was like COVID. I had all this money. So I'm kind of like in my room every day, feeling quite like depressed, laying on my bed, over the clothing line thing. And then just chatting with her and then thinking about, I have all this money. I've got the camera, and she just gave me random little tips, like something so simple. She said, stop shooting in the day. She's like, just shoot like blue hour. Like people go sunset. She's like, try blue hour. And I was like, okay, interesting. She's like sunset and blue hour, and then just play around with these tips she was giving me. And then I was like, damn, like there's this cool style that I was getting that kind of looked like Leica in a way, the colors and this like emotion to the photo that I really like enjoyed and wanted to do. But I was only just touching it at this point. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna move to Cologne. Because within this period I became obsessed with like people's work and with Leica, the brand Leica, like man, I'm so dream for this idea to be like an ambassador for Leica one day. This is kind of like
Me too.
the driving force, yeah. And I was inspired by a guy also like Andre Jocelyn, amazing photographer, and like she is like childhood friends with this guy. So I was like, there's some weird thing going on here that's just like, it seemed too perfect. It made sense of like, how come we connected? To the point then where I just decided to book a ticket and move overseas to Cologne. I was like, okay, if I want to really do photography, I want to die for this art. Like I'm gonna, like I just sacrifice everything. I had this money. Everyone's telling me buy a house, settle down, whatever. And I was like, nah, fuck it. Like I'm just gonna go use this money to kind of get around, settle in, and I want to immerse myself in like this German culture. And man, bro, like the fuck, I sold my Jeep, 30,000, chucked it all back into the shares. Everything's in the shares. So I'm around, I mean, it went up and down a little bit. So I probably got like 89,000 now. Kept some in my bank. And then we're flying to America first. So I was going to do a bit of a trip around Europe.
Okay.
So I'm like, cool, like I'm going to fly to America. And stupidly, like I'm like, I'll buy a Leica maybe when I get to Germany, wait a few months, learn, and then I'll get my Leica that I've been, because I spent the 2 years in COVID learning to shoot, teach myself while talking to this girl, Lena. And then the night I flew out, man, on the plane, I lost like all of it almost. And because I'd left New Zealand, I needed to sell. So I went from 89,000 to 15K overnight.
Oh,
so then that whole idea got like changed pretty bad.
There's some volatile stocks you're talking about.
No,
there.
but I was just Tesla, bro. I was
okay.
I was in Tesla for like 2 years, and I don't know. I got lucky and spoiled. Like I did it before everyone was jumping in the stock world, but I had watched Elon's stuff from like 2011, and I seen like, man, that's really cheap. Like maybe if I just chuck 10 in, and then it just like took like 4 to 6 months. I had like 100K. It was ridiculous. And then you make money that quick though, you're gonna lose it just as quick. And
Well, you could lose it just as quick. Yeah.
And that was part of my story for that. Like I had to go through this.
Wow.
So then I'm like in America, going to Italy, Croatia, London, and then Cologne, and I'm just like broke at this point. So I like moved to Cologne, Germany. I have like 4,000 left in my bank, and I was like, fuck, okay, this is right. I don't know anybody. But then, so Lena let me, when I first moved to Cologne, I lived with her family for the first month.
Oh.
And then that was amazing. So like, it was crazy and I hadn't even met her yet. Like we'd just been online talking. Now I'm with her family, and then through the wall I meet her brother, who introduced me to this guy who lives through my wall, Zani Chris, this like German guy that just then they introduced me to their friends group with like my most amazing people I've ever met.